Good evening, and welcome to another scene in London Ascending, a vampire venue. We start this scene at a house, a quite large house, not a mansion, but it's a house with basement, ground floor, and the first floor. But it's quite spacey. There's a lot of rooms, and it is inside the domain of a kindred of the city called Laura. And she's been up for a little, uh, and she's just preparing. She's taking from a fridge. She's in the basement. She's taken some blood into some cups and is preparing a, well, breakfast, I suppose you could call it, and is on her way up. And for the convenience of this, we will say that Camilla is awaking as Laura comes into the room.
You see a kind of just vampires sleep. They don't sleep like the dead, with arms across their chest like they do in the movies. They just sleep as they sleep, um, be it without breathing. Uh, However, waking up in the morning is usually a startled experience. Camilla opens her eyes just before Laura opens the door. She just sort of looks around the room and then pushes
The
herself.
room you're lying in. Well, you remember some of the things. The bed is a very spacious two-person bed with very comfortable pillows, uh, silk sheets. It's very comfortable, very
For some reason, I imagine it
luxurious.
being white. I don't know why. I know it's not very practical for vampires, but for some reason, I imagine it being white.
It is a shade of most of the upholstery is a shade of red, dark red,
How racy.
and it is a very comfortable place to be. When Laura comes in, she just looks, ah, awake, and she has a tray with her, and there's a couple of cups of what you can smell by here is blood. She just comes over and just there's a tray, and she puts it in front of you, almost like a breakfast in bed.
Camilla sort of looks around the room. She realised that she didn't take much notice of anything last night. I think she was once the light was green, there was a flurry of other activity. She just sort of looks to see various items of clothing deposited in various locations.
Um, there is Laura's clothing, which she was wearing last night. It is in different places around the room. She's wearing a bra and pants or knickers or whatever you call them.
It's really funny hearing you say knickers. I'm just not gonna lie.
Um,
um,
whatever the euphemism or term is in Britain compared to the United States. Um, and she just puts it down and just says, "Oh, and by the way, welcome to my domain." And she smiles.
yes, I don't believe we had that formality last night. And she takes the glass and says, "Thank you."
And Laura gets into bed next to her. And she says, "Well, you had grand plans." And she gets comfortable. Grand plans for what we were to be doing, but I think we got a little ahead of ourselves.
Somewhat. Oh well, a new day and all that. Camilla says, sort of smiling. Her hair is kind of mussed up. It's like not. Normally she's so neat, and she just doesn't look very neat at all at the moment. She just drinks from glass.
Laura takes one of the other glasses and drinks from it.
So, back to business. This deer hunter we're going to investigate this evening.
Well, a serial killer. Not really topical in this situation, but a thing we need to. It is garnering public publicity, and that alone should be a reason enough for someone of us to make sure it has no connection. But with the spark now, it has become a priority, I would say.
What do we know about him, her, so far?
He leaves souvenirs. It has been in parks. It won't be easy, but I'm going to look through some things. Maybe question a few people of London's finest. Hopefully we will get somewhere.
Thoughtful. I suppose we could investigate the crime scenes.
There's that. They may have missed something.
They do not have my finely tuned perceptions.
Quite so.
We may be able to learn something else about the killings, which may give us a clue. Try and work out a pattern. As most murderers have or fetishistic.
Or lack of one.
Of our kind.
If there is a lack of one, then it's a cover for something else, which would also be necessary information.
Is he targeting girls, children, men?
I believe it is young women, but I may be mistaken. She looks, Laura looks to her, just. Well, I suppose we'll have to save some of the discussion she wanted for another time.
Well, I'm sure we have other evenings.
She gets up again and removes the tray and puts it over to a table. And she just looks at Camilla and just, so, I'm going to take a shower. She looks at her and just, would you care to join me?
Camilla, sort of, she almost just goes, yes, I will, to get out of the bed, and then she holds her hand out, not to Laura, but to somebody else, as if there was somebody else there. Then she just immediately remembers that Cadbury's not there. Oh, sorry, I'm used to Cadbury handing me things. Yes, I will join you. That would be very, very nice.
Laura will undress what she has on, and you'll come into a very decked out and luxurious bathroom. It's clear that this is, it's also with, there is lots of makeup, lots of perfumes. This is probably some place that Laura does spend some time.
Camilla's just like, she's just looking at this like, wow, this is a big room. But she picks her clothes up on the way and just sort of like on her way through, she just sort of puts them more neatly. She can't help herself. She puts them like more neatly on the chair, and then follows through.
Let's just say that some time passes, and afterwards, Laura will begin. You'll see that she'll begin to cut her hair. Um, she seems to know what she's doing somewhat. It doesn't look too bad. It's it's very short now, and she picks up a as what looks like hair color, and after a while, she is now very very dark haired. It's almost pitch black.
Mm. Oh yes, the disguises.
Well, I think it's the way the rate we referred back to our own uh, appearance. I believe that this is is a
She's
good
sort of
way to
halfway.
introduce.
She's halfway through putting on the trousers and the shirt. Pulls the braces over her shoulders and just rings, presses a button on her mobile phone. Just says, "Will you get me out casual wear and fix me the red dye?" And she hangs up. I will wear something a little different, and I will dye my trademark blonde hair to a more modernistic auburn colour, I think.
Looking forward to it. Laura
Yes.
gets in and gets dressed, and it's not in the bedroom, but it's in another room. You can see that she goes into what is a converted, uh, maybe a guest room or something that's been made into a giant dressing room, essentially. There's clothes in there. There's lots of clothes in there.
In the meantime, someone drops over some stuff. Um, Somebody goes out to collect. Um, and then she changes into. It's not really casual. It's not like a t-shirt or anything, but it's casual for her. I suppose it's like a long sleeved blouse, not blouse. What's the white word for it? It's like more of a sweatshirt type thing under a jacket with the sleeves rolled up to the elbows and jean style trousers and shoes. And she will just sort of. She's got quite short hair, so it's not really much of a task for her. She does. She puts a dye in it. It takes quite easily on her hair, which is pretty much white. Let's be fair. And she. You do notice that she normally. You would know that because you were there when she undressed. She binds herself, with bandages to make herself like really flat chested. But she doesn't put that on. She leaves that off.
After a while, Laura will come out, and she's wearing a, uh, a dark hoodie, a t-shirt, baggy cargo trousers, and glasses. And she looks quite different from her normal self, and she looks as a teenager you would be able to see in the streets of London normally.
Camilla sort of smiles because this look makes her look quite young. I mean, I know Laura is young, but she looks even younger with this kind of style. Perhaps you may be a high temptation for our dear hunter.
Yeah, one can only hope. Um, Laura will look at her. Is she Christian now? Or
No, she's just sort of somewhere in the. She's. I will. Let's see if I can find a picture real quickly. She's got this sort of red hair. Um,
red looks fantastic on you. She comes over and comes quite close and just
I
like,
thought about it last night, and I realised that the last time she met the Sabat, she was Christian. So they probably haven't seen her as Camilla. They've seen her as Christian, which would make very little sense to disguise herself if they are Sabat as the thing they already know her as.
Laura just looks at the hair color and just, you have to do that a bit more often. It looks good on you.
Here we go. Full of smiles. She's kind of done it in a. It's a very different style from her usual hair colors. Normally, she sweeps her hair back, and makes it look very sort of military, uniformed-ish. But she hasn't done that. She's made it come forward in this sort of like almost like 1950s rockabilly style way. It's a bit sort of punky, more modern. And if Lisa could actually find the damn picture, we would be able to see it.
In any regard, Laura will get down to just begin to walk down, and she will just say, "So, we can begin our investigations now if you want to. If you have other things you need to see to before, I can quite understand."
No, we can begin them now. I need prior arrangements to it.
Very well.
As far as I'm aware, I think we expect to strike while the iron is hot in the early part of the evening.
And
Anything
do
else?
you require a? She'll go downstairs. She goes into the kitchen. There is a couple of bottles. It's a large kitchen, and she will just in the one of the cupboards. She will get out what is a combat knife, and she'll just look at her and just say, "Would you like one of these, or do you?"
Camilla smiles warmly at her. Like she looks at the combat knife. I imagine it's quite basic, I suppose.
Fairly basic, but it will do the trick.
There you go. That sort of thing.
Mm.
She smiles and then she walks up to Laura, like gets quite close to her, and she like leads in slightly, and she will flare out her wrist. When she does that, you see a long, thin blade appear.
I'll take that as a no. She smiles. Let me just
You
get
won't need to worry too much with me present. I'm always full of blades. I just didn't hurt your friend. I just didn't use one on your friend because that was the rules.
I appreciate that. And Laura will go into the living room, find a rucksack or a backpack, and she will just take a couple of what looks like coffee cups from the freezer, a knife, and a couple of other things, flashlight, different things that she has lying around, a notebook and stuff, and what looks to be a fairly good camera. Um, Um, Actually, both a digital camera and a like what a more photographer would use with a bit of a zoom on, and the one with the zoom on she puts around her neck.
I believe that our keeper was interested in
I'll give him a call.
assisting with this investigation, but
I'll give him a call.
yeah, I don't want to leave him out. It could be useful.
Right. And
Can't hog the evening with you all to myself.
hmm, well, I wouldn't be too angry if you would try. She smiles to her.
She smiles.
Well, and I will just call a cab. Right. And she will just say, I hope you don't mind walking a bit. I would
Not at
want to
all.
be out of my immediate, out of my domain before I call a cab.
I don't mind to walk.
Okay.
Looks like it's a dry evening.
All right. And the two will leave to
What part of London are they in, by the way?
uh, do me a, wow, you know London. It's,
Camilla's been there since London was sort of built, so she knows it fairly well. But last night she was not paying attention to where the hell they were going, to where they were going. So um,
you're
I don't think
quite,
any lights were put on or anything like that. They just sort of went into the
no,
house and that was that.
you're quite sure you pass the metro station for Hampstead at some point.
Uh,
You're quite sure.
she just nods, just sort of getting her bearings a little bit, but it looks a bit different in the light of a different day. All right, well, we
And
can leave it there and tack on to the next scene.
indeed, with that, we will come to a close of the scene. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.